Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope you're doing all right today. It's album review time. We've got the band Bomber and their release Nocturnal Creatures. This is their debut album. They're a Swedish band and they're brilliant. This is the face of guilt. The guilt is that I didn't do any reactions leading up to this album. I saw they come up as notifications and for some reason I just missed them, whether I was too busy, and I regret it. I really do. So an apology from me to you guys and the band for not covering this band until now. They're amazing. They really are. So this came out on March the 25th on Napalm Records, a great label as well. Cover loads of different styles of metal. What do they sound like? They sound like I've been transported back to the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s territory, maybe more the early 80s. It's a great mix of, I mean, it's funny because I was listening to this album and then I sort of noted down who they reminded me of. Influences, you know, they've got their own sound, obviously, but all bands take influences from somewhere. And all the bands that I noted down are sort of mentioned, because I looked at sort of stuff for some bios afterwards, and it sort of mentioned those bands. Def Leppard for sure, but we're talking High and Dry. Even the debut On Through the Night, Def Leppard, but especially High and Dry for sure. It's really got that classic feel that I miss from Def Leppard. Thin Lizzy, I would say. There's some influences from Thin Lizzy there. Some Iron Maiden influences. We're talking new wave of British heavy metal here. Yeah, not with Thin Lizzy, I know, but Maiden, Def Leppard, even some AC/DC I would say in there. I wrote that down. They give me a little few vibes of that, you know, a lot of that being guitar sound. But also, of course, Def Leppard had that AC/DC, almost Highway to Hell guitar sound as well. That's what they had. They were highly influenced by AC/DC, Def Leppard were. And you know what, this is an amazing album and I really do feel bad. But I'm covering it now and I'm really glad that I got to listen to this album and give it the praise it deserves. It's brilliant. In this band, you got Love Anderson on the bass. Great bass player. You can imagine this is rocking stuff. This is metal. This is early metal stuff. So the bass player and the drummer need to be fantastic. The drummer's Rasmus Grassin, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's on the drums, so the drummer and the bass are just really tight. The rhythm section's fucking great on this. You got a twin guitar attack in Max Hudden and the vocalist as well, Anton Skuld. So they trade off brilliant guitars throughout this album. You need two guitars because of all the stuff going on. You remember, if you're going to take influence from early 80s metal, you know, and there's guitars everywhere, all the way through that early 80s metal. Two guitars is perfect for this band because they swap around and stuff. It's a brilliant, brilliant guitar-driven album. This is real rawness. There's a rawness and energy to this album that just, I mean, as soon as I started listening to it, I was thinking, wow, I feel young again. It really did bring back some memories. It's brilliant. And the vocalist as well, also, I've already mentioned he's on guitar, Anton Skuld. He's got a brilliant vocal. He's a bit different. He's got a sort of rawness to his voice. He gives me something different in rock and metal now. He really does. I mean, we have singers, don't we, that can sing anything and they can scream to the heavens. But sometimes that's not what I want. I want something a bit different. He sort of reminds me a little bit of the vocalist in Spirit Adrift. He's got that great sort of character to his voice. You know, they don't sing to the heavens. That's not what they're there for. But he's got range as well. But it's all about the way he sounds. You know, his tone, if you like. Absolutely love his vocal. It's something different, but something brilliant at the same time. So I do run through my favourite tracks, but we start off with an intro at the beginning, which is the Nocturnal Creatures, the title track, if you like. It goes straight into the song Zarathustra. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Typical that I get a hard song to pronounce, but I want to talk about it. It's a single, has that real Bon Scott AC/DC era infused feel to it, almost High and Dry Def Leppard feel to it. This track hits you straight out of the gates. It's perfect. It's stripped back. It's riffy. It's heavy boogie. that's the order of the day in this one. It's fun, energetic, and it's the perfect proper first track to start the album. The next track I want to talk about is another single, Fever Eyes. The pace sort of slows down a little bit here, but the energetic start definitely doesn't slow down. A great hooky mid-pace song that almost has some sort of classic Thin Lizzy feels for me, especially the instrumental section. This is classic rock, really tastefully done. It's brilliant stuff. A Walk of Titans, Hearts Will Break is the next track I want to talk about. Another single that I missed. We get a bit of a different feel to this. A very cool atmospheric beginning leads to a great epic sounding song. An outstanding galloping track that is surely, well, it is for me, a brilliant highlight of the album. This sits in a perfect place for me as a track. A huge song. The next track I want to talk about is Black Pants Magic, a bit of a strange title. A medium paced song. The fun feel of the band comes back here, like it did with the first proper track, into an excellent chuggy heavy rock track. Some excellent backing vocals in that chorus, just propels it into the stratosphere. Another great track that just seems like it's sort of pulling from all those early 80s influences, but at the same time has the bomber feel. The next track I want to talk about is The Tiger. Man, what a track. Upbeat, galloping riff kicks this one off, and we have another great track that just satisfies all those classic metal requirements that I love. Brilliant stuff. Next one I want to talk about is Hungry for Your Heart. This is a medium to fast paced song. The galloping riffs are back in full force. It's a medium to fast paced metal track. It's like an insane mix of the first two Maiden albums and Def Leppard's On Through the Night album. It's strange listening to it. I can hear all those elements. It's perfect. It's brilliant stuff that just makes me feel like I'm 10 again. Literally 10 again, because that's when I first heard that sort of stuff. Mental. The next track I want to talk about is Cassiopeia. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is an instrumental. Now, I don't usually talk about instrumentals as being my favourite tracks, but this almost is an answer to Def Leppard's Switch 625. This is the sort of thing you would hear on, that album. It's just brilliant. Instrumentals sometimes, are just all about how technical it is. This is about your head going on this one. It's a brilliant song. I love it. The next track I want to talk about is Aurora. God, there's some hard tracks to pronounce on this. This is nearly 6 minutes long. It's the longest track and the most epic. This is just what this band is all about, this track, Sort of propels you to a time when bands poured their heart and soul into their music, into their songwriting. It's got everything you want. Classic metal riffs, soaring backing vocals, chuggy guitars, classic metal summed up in one track. And that's it, guys. I fell in love with this album. First listen, it is brilliant. It's brilliant. If you're my age, and you want to get some nostalgic feels back in your life, and some music that you missed, and like I said, music that pours its heart and soul into the album, really makes you feel good. This album, get this. It's Bomber, Nocturnal Creatures. Amazingly, their debut album. It's just mental. I love it. It's out now on Napalm Records. I highly recommend this one, guys, and I'll see you next time.